everybody. Welcome back to the Routine Podcast.
Gymnastics Conversations.
I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Chelsea's mom, Diana.
And we're back for episode 54.
And in Texas.
So we've made it safely to Texas.
We did. We had a little bitty.
Correction, you had a little bit of something going on.
Okay, so quickly, just because we got to get to the gymnastics. So I got to Texas like 5 o'clock. Got my little rental car. I was just going to drive to Fort Worth, relax, and then go back to the airport and get Chelsea with her flight, which landed at 10. And I'm chugging, just sitting in the car.
Don't say chugging, because then people are going to think you were on the train.
Right, no.
No trains were involved.
No, I was driving in my little rental car, and I stopped at a stop sign, as you're supposed to do, and bam! A car hit me.
Rear-ended you.
A car rear-ended me.
Okay, wait. I wasn't in the car, but Mom loves to tell stories, and maybe she'll exaggerate a little bit.
You were not in the car.
Okay, yeah.
How do you know?
I'm saying I wasn't in the car. Was it a bam, or was it kind of like a, ooh, something just hit me?
No, it wasn't a something just hit me.
Did you hear it?
Everybody heard it.
Oh.
It went crunch.
Okay. So maybe it was a bam.
I then said a bad word.
Which word? Yeah, when Mom says that, something's wrong.
There's so much that I have to still do, and I just want to get to the hotel and rest for a couple of hours. But now I'm in Texas, and now I'm in an accident in a rental car. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You know, some cities have an 811 number instead of a 911 if it's not an emergency. In fact, I did dial 811, which, of course, it was something crazy. It wasn't a non-emergency number. It was like how to dig, where to dig safely if you need to dig somewhere.
Wasn't going to help you at that moment.
No. So then I ended up dialing 911. And it was a nice little lady who hit me, by the way. Let me just say, she was very kind. Texas hospitality. She was very sorry. She had a little baby with her, and she said she was taking care of the baby, and she did
while driving.
Right. She looked down.
Probably not the best.
She looked down, and when she looked up, there was my car. And anyhow, I'm fine. Car's fine.
Okay, but the thing is, guys, Mom called me when I was about to board the plane. It's like, hey, I've just been in an accident.
I didn't say it that way.
She did.
I said, first, how are you and how's your flight?
Yeah, okay, you did. But then you said, well, I've just been in an accident. Then, like, of course, my heart drops. Like, I'm thinking she's, like, on a stretcher on the way to the hospital. And then she's like, yeah, someone just rear-ended me, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm just like, okay, like, what do you want me to do? Like, you can't just, like...
I was just keeping you informed of my travel situation.
So then I land. Mom picks me up in the car that's been rear-ended.
That's right, because I was not going back to the rental car facility.
And guess what? There's not a bump, not a scratch,
there is.
not a dent in the car. So I think she's just making up the whole thing just so that we have a story for the episode.
That is so not true. You wait till I file this automobile. I've got her like driver's license picture and everything.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I know her name too. Mm-hmm. We're friends now.
Mom's a great storyteller, guys.
I am a good storyteller, but this is true. Nonetheless, we're here. We made it.
Some tweets that I wanted to go over really quickly. Haley Edison actually answered our question that we had for our last episode about the coaches poll. And she said, if it's anything like other sports polls, you get so many points for the first, second, and third. Points accumulate, and the team with the most points is the preseason favorite.
Gotcha. Thank you, Haley, because we sure didn't know.
Yes, thank you.
One of the things I want to say before we get into the specifics of the meet is we did get the chance to meet some of our listeners. That was so much fun. We met Sam as a dancer.
At Sloth Nova, Lucy, at Outrageous Book. That's her handle on Twitter. Maria. We saw Maria with her baby this time.
Yeah, we met her at Nationals last year. Obviously, the baby wasn't there.
But she told us she was pregnant.
She did. And he's so cute.
He's so cute.
He's going to be a gymnastics fan.
Yes. Denver gymnastics fan.
Right. And what was great about the meetup is that everybody had a different team that they wanted to win. Mm-hmm. And we didn't plan it, obviously. It was just a meetup. But you had a Denver fan, UCLA fan, me as an LSU fan, Michigan fan,
Florida
fan, and
Oklahoma.
Yeah, so that's what was fun about it. We actually recorded everybody coming together, but
I messed up.
we really didn't push the right record button.
Yeah.
So,
but it did happen.
It did, like my car accident right here.
It did happen. Wink, wink.
But that was so much fun. It was really what we wanted the podcast to be, where people of like interest who love great gymnastics getting together to talk about how much fun we just witnessed.
Mm-hmm. And what I actually said to Mom right after we left, I'm not the most talkative person.
No, not like me.
But for me, as this kind of high level gym fan, it was nice to be able to talk to other people about college gymnastics at the same level as I do. And I know a lot of our listeners can probably relate to this, where you want to talk about college gymnastics with someone, but they just don't get it. Right. And they ask like silly questions like, so who's going to qualify to this? And what is this? No, like we could talk to each other on the same level. And like you said, although we all have our teams that we're rooting for, we all acknowledge and appreciate great gymnastics.
Yeah, and it was great because I obviously listened to you all. You guys were really all vibing about the gymnasts, the teams.
Individuals qualifying.
Yeah, and I, of course, don't follow it the way you all do. So it was very interesting to listen, but to see how you guys were all on the same page, too.
The new regionals format, we talked about that and how we all think it really is a great thing, but there are some things that need to be corrected along the way.
Yeah, my favorite part was talking to Sam as a dancer, who's a Florida fan. You know, clearly we're all still suffering from that. But she said, I really wanted a team to be upset. And this was the first session, right? Yeah. And I'm like, well, which team did you want to be upset? Yeah. And she looked at me because we knew which team. But she never said it. So that's okay, Sam, as a dancer. I understand.
And I'm sure she's not the only one, because I think there actually are a lot of gymnastics fans that wouldn't really be butthurt if LSU didn't qualify for the second day.
I know. But it was good because after it was over, she said, I still think there could be an upset. Because, again, she still wants an upset because, you know, everything has happened. And I'm like, well, who do you think, which team could upset? She says, I think it could be LSU. It was fun.
It was fun.
And then, you know, Maria's got her Denver shirt on. And, you know, she had her Denver shirt on last year, too, right? And so to see her team here at the finals.
Yeah, so cool.
It's so cool. And then to see Outrageous Book, who's a Michigan fan, and she had her Michigan shirt on. And Michigan had just finished an amazing meet where they were in the lead. And, you know, and when you got to that fourth rotation, which I'm assuming we're going to get at, Chelsea, 3 teams were less than a 10th apart for first, second, and third place.
Yeah, let's just talk about it now. That was so insane. I don't think anyone expected Michigan to challenge the other teams as much as they did.
And we're talking about all the teams were challenged, including UCLA.
Yeah, which was so surprising. Going into the fourth rotation, LSU was in the lead, but by less than a 10th.
This concludes our third round of competition. Gymnasts, please march to your fourth event and wait for the announcement to begin your touch warm-up. For the fourth rotation, Michigan will be on vault. LSU will be on bars. Utah is on beam. And UCLA is on floor.
Which we all knew that this was going to be kind of a nail-biter, but we didn't know right off the bat that Mom would be almost pooping her pants.
I was not. I was about to throw up. I can say that. But what a meet, Chelsea.
It was very intense.
Intense is the right word.
LSU started on beam.
Which was a good thing, we thought. And first person up fell. I know. Oh, that hurt.
Which you never want, especially starting off the meet. You don't want to start with a fall.
No. And you could just feel the team clinching that everybody just kind of just like, right, like, oh.
We really gotta perform now.
Yeah, exactly. You could feel that. Even in the stands, you could feel that. And meanwhile, you're watching all the other teams, and there are no falls. It was tough.
It was really tough. But the rest of the team, the rest of the beam lineup really had each other's back.
They did.
It wasn't their best.
I was going to say they didn't perform at their best, but they didn't fall.
They did really, really well.
Because the fall would have been done.
Yeah,
For
sure.
It's like what we saw with Florida. A fall would have ended it.
But in the meantime, Michigan was on bars, doing really well. I think generally speaking, the bar scores were a little bit loose.
I thought you were going to say, generally speaking, Michigan was awesome.
Michigan really, really, really did do great.
Oh my gosh.
Especially if you look at their history and how they perform during postseason. They really came and fought today. And I think that they should be extremely proud of themselves because they made you and I nervous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were thought that they were in the lead.
They were.
Very clean, beautiful routines. Their skill level was there. You know, I've come to know this season that LSU is kind of like a heart attack team for me.
Explain.
Yeah, I mean, you're hopeful for the best, but you just don't know what's going to happen. And I don't know why I say that because every time they perform well, right? They are here in the Final Four, so clearly they've done well.
The journey getting there, is a long journey.
It is.
Another person that I want to talk about is Michaela.
Oh my gosh.
Michaela Skinner.
I'm telling you, Michaela's senior year, I'm going to be a Michaela fan just because there's nobody like Michaela. And I think if more young ladies, more gymnasts could be like that, it would be different for women's sports.
I agree. And actually, earlier this week, there was an article written about Michaela and how she shows her emotions.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'll link that on our website. But today's meet was no different. She is so down for Utah. She really is almost the heart and soul of the team.
Right. And when she did her vault, which was a beautiful vault, the way she ran back down that runway to celebrate her vault.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
It was, and then bars too. Remember when she landed her bar routine? It was like, yeah, gotta love Michaela. You really do.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's just because it's such in contrast with the other gymnasts that we celebrate, and I think all of it's beautiful. I really do.
Another person I want to mention,
Kennedy.
yes.
We
Kennedy
have to
Edney.
mention Kennedy.
She was a little off and on during warm-ups, but whenever it came time to competition,
Game day.
she was on.
Yeah, she got like a 39.6 or something like that all around.
Yeah.
I mean, close to Sarah's score.
She did. And her vault, it was like, because you and I were there whenever she won vault 2 years ago.
Right, and we didn't expect it. As a freshman, you know,
Yeah.
she didn't expect it either.
No, but she nailed her vault.
I don't know if there's anybody who gets the amplitude Kennedy gets.
And before she went, Mom said, do you think she can stick it?
Oh, and they needed to at that point. They were the third rotation, and they were in fourth place, I think.
And she went, and she nailed it.
She did. And again, she's got that Kennedy run first.
Yeah.
Right? Like she's getting ready to do the javelin or the pole vault.
She flipped, twisted, and stuck it.
It was gorgeous.
So congrats to Kennedy. I just
Her
think that
floor was gorgeous.
She deserves some
Her
recognition.
Bars were gorgeous. She did. Again, I think she and Sarah really helped pull LSU through.
I totally agree. Without her scores, LSU probably wouldn't have made it.
So I'm not sure which session I enjoyed more, the first or the second session. I mean, LSU, obviously, in the first session I enjoyed. But watching Oregon State, watching Denver, watching Oklahoma, and the second session was also great.
I think the two sessions were great for different reasons.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the first session was good in terms of team competition.
Yeah.
And then the second session, in terms of the individual routines that were happening,
That's true.
it was a lot more interesting.
When we were watching the last session, we were really interested in the all-around score because at that point you knew what the morning session scores were, you know what Sarah's scores were. So at that point you're really not only looking at the team because you know Oklahoma's going to make it, but you're also looking at what these all-around scores are going to be and who's going to be the all-around champion for 2019.
And now, let's meet the 4 teams and individual competitors who have qualified for tonight's competition. Please welcome Oregon State University. Caitlin Yanish, Rena Green, Lacey.
Oregon State surprised me.
I think they surprised themselves.
You think so?
I think so. For them not even expected to qualify to nationals, they were really competitive.
And they almost made it to the Final Four.
They did. They were, and they have beautiful gymnastics.
At the final 4th rotation, both Denver and Oregon State were tied.
Yeah.
At the 4th rotation.
And Denver, I would say, didn't have their best meet.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like a couple of gymnasts didn't have their best routines.
Okay.
But Oregon State, they clearly have been working hard in the gym, and it shows.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, it was also, there was some sad moments today. Watching Florida today was tough, right?
The individual qualifiers for Florida.
Yeah, so you had Alicia, Trinity, Alyssa.
And Savannah.
And it's like they needed their team, right?
Yeah. But you could tell that they had something to prove.
Yeah.
And they were going to just leave it all out on the floor.
Yeah.
Especially Alicia.
Alicia's floor.
Alicia was just like in a whole nother stage of competition.
Yeah, she really was. And again, it's her senior year. So each of these routines were going to be her last routine. Mm-hmm. And you could tell. Because she, like you said, she left it all out there. Her floor.
Yeah.
And we've watched her floor all season. Her best floor I've ever seen.
And it was just so nice because the whole arena was behind her.
They were.
Everyone was cheering for her. Everyone stood up for her when she finished. Mm-hmm. It was great. And she ended up being co-floor champion.
Yeah. And it was interesting to me. It was like she was passing the baton to Trinity, because Trinity did floor as well. And, of course, she had a beautiful floor routine. But it was like they transitioned. So Florida, it was great fun to watch, but you could tell that there was disappointment still there.
Speaking of individual qualifiers, Darian Goburn.
Oh my gosh, from Auburn.
As a freshman.
She had one event today.
Yes.
That was it.
Yeah.
And it's a quick event. And she
nailed her vault. And it was so pretty.
Yeah,
I was
really
so happy for her.
It really was.
Because she's just been, doing her thing all season. Mm-hmm. And for it to come down to this, qualifying as an individual and then winning the only event that she qualified for.
With a beautiful vault.
So cool.
Yeah. So congratulations.
I feel like she's going to be like the future of Auburn.
I do too. Who else to recognize? What about Natalie Wolchek?
She ended up winning beam. Congratulations to her. I actually missed her routine, so hopefully I can watch it later. But obviously it was fantastic since she was able to beat all of these amazing beam workers.
Yeah.
Lexi Ramler.
Lexi from Minnesota.
I said I was excited to watch her.
Yep.
And she exceeded my expectations.
Every single event is gorgeous.
She really is good, especially in person. She really is a beautiful gymnast. And I actually can't wait. Hopefully they showed her on TV. Mm-hmm. And hopefully Kathy had the opportunity to commentate about Lexi. If she likes Sarah, then she has to love Lexi.
Oh, yeah. She was beautiful to watch this evening.
And she really is an all-around gymnast. Mm-hmm. She's really good on all of the events.
Yeah, and she ended up getting second.
Yeah, she tied Kyla.
Yeah.
She tied Kyla Ross.
Yeah, she did. And then Georgia. So we happened to sit in Georgia's section.
Georgiaville.
We did. And it was interesting because as you started the meet, you had the pom-poms.
They came in hot and heavy.
They did. I mean, everybody was like, ooh, yeah. And Suzanne was in her moment, and Courtney.
Yeah.
And I was watching Sabrina. And then the night just didn't go well.
Yeah.
And I think it started early on.
They started on bars. And I think they started off pretty well. And then Marissa Oakley, she fell a couple of times.
Yeah,
and
that
I
was
think
tough.
that's where things just kind of unraveled.
Yeah. Yep. And Sabrina wasn't at her top where she's normally.
Yeah.
And you'd have to have her score to be at the top, you know. So that was sad.
They just looked a little like deflated.
They did. And I think, again, it was really after that first rotation. And meanwhile, you were watching Oregon State.
Thriving.
Yeah, and the fans going nuts. And
Denver fans going crazy.
yeah. And meanwhile, Oklahoma was Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I still love watching.
Maggie's back.
Maggie's back. Oh, my gosh. She's
so
so good.
pretty.
Yeah. She really is just beautiful.
I really liked her floor routine. Since she hasn't really competed floor that much this season, I completely forgot what her floor routine was like. The music is a lot different. We say this, but it really is different in person. And all of the movements go really well with the music.
Do we have to mention its 2-pass routine?
It was a 2-pass routine, but she's injured, so.
Yeah. That's tough on a national all-around championship, though.
That's your opinion.
But she is Maggie Nichols.
Yeah.
She could do 3 passes, 4 passes, and she'd still do well. So,
Also, Trinity Thomas. I'm skipping Oklahoma, sorry, but Trinity Thomas. I feel like her routine was really the only routine where the whole arena just was silent. Especially in the beginning of her floor routine where the music's kind of low. Everyone in the arena was watching Trinity. You could literally hear like a baby cry.
and again, I think they were like when Alicia went, they were watching Alicia too, but it was a totally different emotional value that you were bringing to the table. What was your best thing about the whole day?
The whole day.
Favorite thing?
I think Alicia floor.
Yeah. What about Anastasia's floor?
That was really good, but I think Alicia's floor. She was one of those people where everyone just wanted her to do well.
Yeah. And they just wanted her to do her routine again.
Yeah, just watch her routine.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it really has something to do with seniors too. Did you see what Jenny did when Alicia finished?
No.
She literally lifted her off the ground to hug her. Yeah, as her senior in her final floor routine. One of my favorite moments was watching Rachel and Alyssa Bauman together. When Alyssa went up to do her routine, Rachel and Georgia were in a huddle where Suzanne and Courtney were talking to the team, right? So they were all looking at each other. But Rachel kept looking to the side because her sister was actually on beam.
Yeah.
And, she couldn't wait to get out of this huddle so she could watch. And as soon as she finished the huddle, you could hear her yell the loudest for her sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty neat to watch.
I bet their parents were very happy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Another favorite moment for me was, I don't know if you got to see this, but Margzetta on bars, when she stuck her dismount, she did the shimmy, the shoulder shimmy.
It's called a woe.
Oh, really? How do you spell that? W-O?
W-O-A-H?
Well,
whoa.
People my age call it the shimmy, the shoulder shimmy.
Yeah, she did. She stuck it in there. It was a little discreet, but if you guys go back and watch it, you'll be able to see she did a little I just did it.
She did.
It was really cool.
It was really cool. So that was one of my favorites.
And the thing is, only Margzetta could do that and make it look cool.
Right.
If anybody else did it, it'd be okay, get off the floor.
No.
But she just did it really subtle, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Michaela's, salute when she wins. It's like a little,
Yeah.
Lindsey Brown, I think, is another favorite. Watching her on bars and when she held that handstand.
Yeah. She had a really great bar. She had a great night, really.
She did. Floor co-champion. But her bar routine, and that was, at the end of the night where they needed Denver to hit to be able to go to the tomorrow night session, and she did it.
Yeah, she did really, really great today. And it was so cool to see her in person.
Right.
Because we saw her for the first time in person this time last year.
Yes, we did. And we also got to meet her mother for the first time last year. Mm-hmm. And so as soon as we found out that Denver moved to the finals, I had to go talk to her. I'm here with Lindsay's mom, Tamala. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. So I'm right after they announced that you guys are advancing. They did announce that, right?
Yes, they did.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, exciting. Compared to last year, now this year, they were all crying. Now they're crying for happy tears.
I know. This has been an amazing season.
Yes, it has.
So what was hardest to watch tonight for you?
I think Floor.
Yeah, why?
I think she deserved a 10.
Spoken like a true mom.
Yes.
They never score our daughters high enough.
Right, I agree. Right.
So they made it to the Final Four.
Yes, I'm excited.
And the thing that's so great about watching them is that you can see the team has gelled.
Yes.
And they each know the job they have to do.
Yes.
For the team.
Exactly.
And they've been doing it.
Yes, and they've been sticking it. And like when you said on the thing, how they play the game, I'm trying to figure out how to play it. Maybe that'll make my life a little bit
Spicy
easier.
Uno.
Yes.
Once you learn how, teach me how.
Okay, because I don't know. I was like, Spicy Uno, that seemed like that'll be some fun. So I think it's making them gel more.
Oh, you can see it.
Yes.
You can see it. I'm so proud of her.
I am too.
I'm so proud of the team, but I'm so proud of Lindsay.
Thank you.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow night.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
congratulations.
Thank you.
And now, introducing your 2019 National Collegiate Women's Gymnastics Championships Uneven Bars winners. A tie for second place, matching scores of 9.9375. Maggie Nichols, Oklahoma. And Alexi Ramler, Minnesota. And the 2019 National Champion on the uneven bars from LSU with a score of 9.95, Sarah Finnegan. Ladies and gentlemen, your uneven bars winner.
My favorite of the day was Sarah Finnegan.
She's the bars champion.
Yes. Just watching her on everything, though. And you know what's funny? You know, we got the chance to hear people around us, whether that was the afternoon session or the evening session. When we did the meetup with our listeners, everybody talks about Sarah Finnegan. So I don't feel so bad.
And we don't prompt it.
No.
People just say, Sarah, we want Sarah to win.
Yeah, it's such a fangirl thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's just hard not to like Sarah. She's just so Sarah.
Right?
Brenna also is co-floor champion.
Brenna.
And I said to you before she went, I just want her to win something.
Yeah.
And then she did it.
And it was a beautiful floor routine.
It was so great.
She's earned it.
She
has. Her gymnastics career, she has earned it. So congratulations to, all those who won. Congratulations to the teams that advanced. Congratulations to Denver in the Final Four. And I think it'll be an interesting meet tomorrow.
Our predictions so far are holding
the
up.
Final Four.
Yeah.
I am still pulling for LSU.
But who do you think is actually going to win?
LSU. It's going to be an upset tomorrow.
She's lying.
Not lying.
You don't have to lie, Mom.
You know how people put like the positive spirit for our travel? I'm putting the positive spirit out there for LSU tomorrow.
Okay. They could use it.
You know what, too?
I just don't want to be stressed tomorrow.
Oh, God. They're going to stress us. We can just...
Watching in the second session was so much better than the first. Because the first session was just too stressful for me.
It really was. I think the thing that we're going to have to look at, this is what we talked about last year, the tired legs. Because remember what happened last year with LSU? They were tired. The morning session gymnasts were very different than the evening session gymnast. So let's see what happens with those evening teams.
Yeah, we'll definitely see if there's struggles on the leg events tomorrow.
Yeah.
For those later teams. But also, I feel like Oklahoma has trained for this. They're just ready, and they're probably not going to show it.
But you have Denver, too.
Yeah, we'll see if they show any struggles.
And why can't we not have a Saturday just to have a rest day and do this on Sunday?
I don't know. Take that up with the NCAA.
All right. Well, let's see what happens tomorrow.
I think, generally speaking, the format has been great.
I agree.
Here in Texas, so far, has been great. Everything is all within walking distance of one another.
Love Fort Worth.
It's really has been a great experience thus far.
Oh my gosh, it's been wonderful. Other than the accident.
Fender bender.
My car was hit. That's an accident.
It was tapped. It's like bumper cars.
All right. We'll see what the rental car agency says.
So, one last prediction. Who do you have winning it all tomorrow, Mom?
LSU.
I think we should also mention that the team with the most fans that showed up today, by far, is LSU.
Of course it is. They came all the way from Louisiana.
Okay, but they came out and they were loud and ready. They had like not just a little section, like the section from the floor to the ceiling was LSU fans.
They did, and what was great about that is they were right in front of bars. And when did LSU need them?
When they were at bars.
Their last event on bars.
Yeah. Maybe we'll sit with LSU tomorrow. Who
I'd
knows?
love that. I'd love that.
For me, my prediction, who I have winning it all tomorrow, Oklahoma.
I know.
I'm just going to give it to them.
I know. I do know. Although I do have to say that, to me, they did not look as dominant as they did at regionals.
They looked a little nervous today, honestly.
They did. They did not. I mean, in regionals, it was like lights out. Mm-hmm. But they did not. I mean, like their beam was not their best beam.
No, it wasn't.
The only problem with that is when Oklahoma usually does bad in an event one night, they go nuts the next night.
They have like a little powwow when they say, okay, we're not doing that again tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's the only issue.
Yeah. So who knows? I also just want to say that Maggie Nichols really showed up tonight.
Yeah. From
warm-ups to the end of the meet, she was in the zone. It was like she had a mission to accomplish.
When does she not ever show up, Charles?
No, but I feel like today, like she brought it to another level. Like she knew what was on the line in terms of the individual all-around competition, and she really did some great gymnastics tonight.
You know, it's funny for me. It reminds me of like a prize fighter where, you know, they're in their corner and they're massaging them and they're talking to them and they're giving them the water. Well, that's what they did with Maggie all season long, right? Well, everybody else is like boxing and taking the punches. Maggie's just kind of, their team's resting her. Mm-hmm. And then
when it's time to go, it's time to go.
It was go time.
Yeah.
And she did it. But that tells you something, too, that she's able to do it, that she does not have to compete every single meet.
And then she can pop up out of nowhere and snatch everything from everyone.
And there she was at the top of that podium.
She was.
And everybody was looking up at her.
Yeah.
She was great.
So what did you guys think of today's meets? What were some highlights for you all? What were some favorite routines that you saw out of both sessions? And were there any surprises for you guys?
And predictions.
Yeah, who do you have winning it all?
And order, because we only did the first place. I think we should do the order. What's your order, Chels?
Oklahoma, UCLA, LSU, Denver.
Wow, you have not moved.
You haven't?
Okay, I'm LSU, Oklahoma, Denver, UCLA.
Okay, Mom. You're just trying to make us laugh
How
now.
about LSU, Denver, Oklahoma, UCLA?
Mom clearly lives in her own world here.
I like my UCLA bubble, my own little bubble.
Is that your final answer?
No, my final answer. True for true. Final answer is LSU, Oklahoma. And it's going to be a really, really, really close meet.
I hope so. That would be so great.
UCLA, Denver.
Okay. So hopefully tomorrow's meet, like there's no shutouts or anything. Let's make it as close as it was last year. How lucky would we be to be able to witness
I don't know if I can
meets.
handle that, though.
I know, right? I'll just pass out.
Yeah. I'll be outside watching and you tell me, text me to tell me who won.
Let us know what your predictions are. And be sure to tune in for the meet. You really are not going to want to miss it. And if you're not able to watch it live, you may see some spoilers. So try and watch it live if you can.
Good idea.
It's not the same to watch sports after it already happened.
It really isn't.
So you can tweet us at Routine Podcast. You can email us at info@theroutinepodcast.com, or you can leave us a voicemail on our website, theroutinepodcast.com.
You go to the top navigation. It says be a part of the conversation. You click that, scroll to the bottom. You'll see a microphone. Click the microphone and leave us your voicemail.
And if you are enjoying our Nationals mini-series, be sure to give us 5 stars on the Apple Podcast app and subscribe so that you never miss an episode.
It's been a great day, Chelsea.
It has. Now it's time to go to sleep.
Good night.
Good night, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.